Greetings, everybody. We're in the pre-launch portion of this podcast. We're doing a live podcast today with Celeste Johnson. And if this is your first time with us and you're watching on YouTube, please go right above and click on subscribe so that we can get you information every time we go live. If you're watching on Facebook, please use the notifications on my page, and every time we go live, we'll be able to get you on notifications. Yeah. Give StreamYard permission so that if you want to make comments, we can communicate with you during this time. Also, we have on our Facebook page, as well as on our web page, www.cheneycoachinggroup.com. You can sign up for emails. Get ready. We're about to launch our membership site in a couple weeks. So lots of great things happening. But today, I'm so excited to have one of my great friends with me. Her name is Celeste Johnson. You all are about to get a treat. She's dynamic. She's going to talk about today, Dare to Lead and to Live by Design. I'm going to ask her to introduce herself right after we get started. Ready, everybody? Greetings, everybody. This is the Cheney Coaching Group podcast. You're now catching the live version, and you'll be able to get the recorded version on YouTube. Today, we have Celeste Johnson with us, and she's going to talk about Dare to Live and to Lead by Design. How you doing, Celeste?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I am excellent. This has been an awesome day. It's going to be great to talk to you. For everybody today, the challenge is this. We're living in some stressful times, some times when it's frustrating. People are not sure what to do next, but I still believe that there's greatness in everybody. Mm-hmm. There's greatness because of the unique gifts and design that God has made for you. And today, Celeste is going to talk to us about how to live and to lead by design. This is going to be an exciting 25-minute live podcast. Celeste, please introduce yourself to everybody.
Awesome. First of all, thank you for this opportunity to have this time to chat with you and to share with your audience and all the people that will eventually see this. It is an honor to be here. I am, as he said, Celeste Johnson. Speaker, trainer, coach. I call myself a transformation coach. And it's all about helping people to navigate and identify their strengths and their gifts and talents, and to transform from where they are to where they want to be and where they should be, if you would. So I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this for 20-something years. I know I look like I'm just out of high school or something. But it's been a wonderful journey to be able to pour into people's lives all over the country and all over the world. I actually work very closely with some profound and an amazing speaker, Les Brown. We've traveled all over to Dubai and to Singapore and all over the country. And so I've had the opportunity to speak to a lot of different people, and it's a privilege to be able to speak into their lives. And so I'm looking forward to sharing a few insights today. Like Bill, we've been friends for some time, and we've got a chance to sing together and speak together. And now we're launching membership sites together. And it's just great to have a moment to talk this evening.
So Celeste,
yes.
Before we can get started and jumping in, the title says Dare to Live and Lead by Design. Yes. And Dare is in all capital letters. What is that about?
Well, it actually is an offshoot from one of my best-selling books, which is called Dare to Succeed. No More Excuses, It's Time to Win. And I've just loved the dare part for a couple of reasons. One, what the word means in itself, where I'm really challenging people. I dare you. You remember as a kid, I don't know if it was you or someone around, and you'd be out there I put this on I dare you. I double dare you, right? You're challenging people to do what you either want them to do or don't want them to do. And so inherent in the definition is that, but I also use it as an acronym. And in the book, actually it's discipline, acting with clarity and focus, raising the bar, and engaging. But what I've also learned as a speaker and trainer, and many people do it, I use that as an umbrella. The dare is an umbrella. So depending on what I'm speaking about, those words may change. It may not be discipline, it may be decide. And so I just use that as a framework in which to structure the message for the day. But yeah, it's a great tool.
So Celeste, today I had a coaching call with two parents, and they were just sharing with me. This has been so stressful financially with the kids all at home, and yet we want to really be our best selves, and they just had no clue how to move forward. And so, if you were talking to them, what would your advice? Where would you start having this conversation?
First, I say join the club.
Okay.
Let's connect there. Got you. You know, I happen to not have the children and the spouse to have to engage with, but just yourself being a single woman, you know, the isolation can also get to you. So I have the TV that I yell at, right? But I mean, it's challenging for us all. First, we have to just inhale and exhale and realize that it is all of us are in this together. And that gives us a first kind of an evening out, if you would, that you're not alone, that this is normal. Our situation is not normal, but the response to it is. And inhaling and exhaling is not just a simple statement. It actually is something that can calm your body down. Getting oxygen into your body, just truly deep inhales and exhales can help you to get a perspective, and it helps you to pause before you jump into something else or reacting to something. It just gives you a minute. So technically it is a good thing to do. And then you got to get perspective. I think one of the things is just the simple way of putting it is just shifting the way you think about it. You can look at the situation as it is, and it is testing your nerves. You're tired, you're exhausted, you're frustrated, you're disappointed, you're sad, all of those descriptive terms. But then at the same time, if I shift, I'm alive, I've got a house, I've got people that love me, I've got clothes. I mean, you look at what you do have, the conscious shift will help you to look at the reality from a different vantage point. So I would encourage them to start there and then dive deeper into whatever the particulars are.
So it sounds like you're talking that there needs to be a mindset shift so that there is also a reality shift.
Absolutely, because what you think, you become what you think, right? Mm-hmm. It really is true. And we can choose. That's the wonderful thing about being human. We can choose at any point what we dwell on, what we focus on. Now, things may come to us because life happens and situations happen and it enters your mind, but you don't have to dwell on that. You have an option to shift what you focus on. We realize it, we recognize it. It's never sticking your head in the sand as though you ignore reality, but we don't have to focus on the negative aspects. We can see it, say, okay, I see you, but I'm choosing to look at another way or to approach it a different way. So yeah, it's your mind is key to everything.
So I want to move on. Part of what you said is in DARE, it could be discipline. Mm-hmm. And what are the disciplines you're telling people? Because, another group of people I work with, and you and I both work with a bunch of folk who want to get their entrepreneurial business up and running during this time. Mm-hmm. And so what are the disciplines that you're saying, hey, these are key. You have to lock into these to move and being able to live to lead by design?
Well, they're foundational. And, the thing I love about it, and I'll tell you exactly in just a moment, but I think the key for that particular project, the Dare to Succeed, their success, their habits. We're talking about habits. We all have habits. Some of them serve us well, and some of them undermine us. We have them. And so what we need to do is to assess them. What we do every day, is it helping me get where I want to go? Is it undermine it? And so when you go back to the D stands for discipline, as you said. And so there's the fundamental discipline of physical discipline. Like I'm running around and I have a lot of energy like you when we're talking and engaging with people, and people say, where do you get that energy from? Well, part of it is because I take care of me, and you have to physically, you can't sustain success. You talked about entrepreneurs and wanting to start things. It's really difficult to attain and sustain success if you're really sick.
Right.
Take care of yourself. So one discipline is just physical, and it's not anything we don't know, but it's not what we practice all the time, right? So it's consuming foods that give you energy, is doing the exercises, doing those basic things. Then you have a mental discipline, which we just touched on just a moment ago. It's like, what do you feed your mind? What do you put in there? Every day you should be putting something inside your head in your thinking capacity that's going to empower you, that's going to encourage you, that's going to make you want to get up and do. We can can choose that, or we can get stuck looking, for example, at the news, which right now we want to know what's going on. But you can sit there all day and you'll think the world is totally coming to an end, and it's not true. So feeding your mind, discipline what you put in your mind and how you think. Another aspect is spiritual disciplines. Really taking the time to get perspective, to honor whoever you believe. I mean, I'm a Christian and I believe in God, and getting that God perspective on our day to day helps you shift, and it keeps you grounded and it gets you fortified. All of those are disciplines. Silence, spending time alone, and all of those are kind of disciplines, examples of what. And if you want to grow, if you want to really make a great impact, the first thing you have to do is to start with yourself. Right.
Yeah.
We talk about reaching out, and I want to reach a lot of people, and I want to make a lot of money, or whatever it might be. But it starts with you inside. So that's why I come back to dare to live by design. Look at who you are, hone who you are and your skills and your perspectives so that you have something to give. I mentioned I work with Les Brown and many other speakers. One of the things that he often says is you can't give from an empty wagon. You have to fill in your own wagon. You've got to take care of you, have something to give, because you'll deplete yourself. And I know you know this. Yeah. We can be givers and we want to pour into other people and pour into other people. But if we don't ever replenish, we'll be laying out, they'll be gone, succeeding, and we won't have anything ourselves. So that's an example of some of the disciplines.
I do get it. So what we teach is that there are 6 dimensions of well-being, and you hit on each one of them. And each area of well-being has its own set of disciplines. And when those disciplines are in balance and working together, that's when people are able to live their best life.
Absolutely.
So I want to know.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
I want to know also from you. So you have a specialty. You work with women and empowering women in a special way. What's going on right now with women in leadership as they're learning to live? And if you were talking to a group of women right now, give me your best advice for them to go forward in this season.
Well, I think it would go back to what we was just talking about for a moment, is really doing an assessment of who you are, where you are, and what is your gifts? What's your calling? What are you supposed to be doing? What is your purpose? Really getting some clarity in that area. Because what I find, Bill, is I go around and I'm talking to people, and again, I've spoken to a wide swath of people around the world. Many people are not clear what they want. They're not clear where they want to go. They get stuck. I think most people, if not all, a great number of people live below what's possible for them. And a great reason for that is they're not clear. They just got stuck for various reasons, a lot of reasons. Maybe they started in a curriculum in school and they thought they wanted it, but it really wasn't what they wanted. But they'd already invested so much time, so they just continue to go on, but they realize it's not really their passion. Or someone else had a vision for themselves and they projected it on them, and because it seemed familiar or comfortable or easy, they went down that path, but that's not really who they are. See, I believe a lot of people, and this is what I say specifically to women, and I'll tell you why women, but I think people in general, we still talk about hump day and living for the weekend and thank God it's Friday. All of those things are indicators to me that they're not walking in alignment with their assignment. Because when you are engaged in what you were designed to do and be, then it's a joy. You look forward to it. You're engaged with it every day. So when you're out of alignment, that's when you're like, I'm just working so I can get home or get to do the things I really want to do. So my first word to people are to identify what those strengths are. Take some time to be quiet and assess. And we're so busy, we don't take the time to really reflect. That's one. It's kind of a 1-2 punch. The other thing that I would say to women and to anyone, but again, particularly to women, is to, in that assessment, identify what you need to let go of. I have this program called Operation Clean Slate, right? And I think we carry around old baggage. We carry around not only emotional baggage, but sometimes clutter in our house, in our mind, and everything. So we need to clean that out and in alignment with understanding what our goals and our mission and our purpose is, we will be fortified and positioned to really make an impact in the world. Now, I want to address this last piece. Why women? Well, I think, we love men. We want to keep them around, but kind of look at the world. We need a woman's touch. I think that it is very helpful to have that other viewpoint that has not necessarily been prominent on the stage of life. And we need that balance. And I think as we move forward, especially the last 5-10 years, we need that communication, that engagement that women typically bring to the table. It's a different kind of leadership. We talk about leadership, and there's all different kinds of models of leadership, and all of them have value for sure. But from the autocratic, like, do it because I said do it, and like my mom used to say a long time ago, or the other way is like whatever you do is fine, laissez-faire. Well, we don't want to be that far either. It's the transformational or the servant leadership. Women tend to navigate toward that type of leadership where you engage with people and you pour into people and you help people to want to work for you. We need more of that style. And again, women are naturally the ones that tend to do that. So I think if we could equip more women, because now you don't want the door to just open, you need to be equipped and ready to step in and to sustain it. So my goal is to help them get fortified, get them healthy and whole and ready to do the job.
So that's one of the things, is that we have our startup accelerator. Mm-hmm. And over the last 2 years, it has shifted significantly with the number of women who've say, hey, I want to be entrepreneurial. I want to get into a startup. And they've been coming to these startup accelerators.
Wow.
And so I'm excited to see more women entrepreneurs. I'm also seeing within, as you know, I work within a lot of my work is in the church. Yes. And my first couple years doing this work, I was in all these churches with all these men leading them. And mm-hmm. now that has shifted significantly. Mm-hmm. And so having a daughter who I want to lead and who I want to aspire to have to be the best that she can be, mm-hmm. she's watching my wife as a role model. And yes. Is there an important role of women mentoring other women so that they can come into leadership?
Without question. Interesting. Without question. It's so critical. If we go back to the church, you mentioned you do a lot of work with the church, and so do I, because I am a practicing Christian and I do a lot of training there. But in the Bible, and I'm sure in other faith books, we talk about the older women or the seasoned women. Let's say that the seasoned women should be pouring into the younger women. We should be not only role models that they look at, but we actually provide them with insight and suggestions, and we pull them aside lovingly and guide them and give them the pieces they need in order to soar. And right before we did this, we're doing this conversation, I was looking at Netflix just released a program with Michelle Obama, which happens to be one of my avatars, and a person that I admire as a woman who is strong but soft, and so kind, but has that stamina and that stature that you can admire and appreciate. We want that combination. That's what women leadership brings. And so absolutely, we should identify them. And there are many of them all over. So your mom, we don't have to go to someone that's a celebrity. Like you said, your daughter looks at her mom. Yeah, we should just honor that. And we're coming up on Mother's Day. I think that people, no matter who your mom was and her personality, without her, we wouldn't be here. And she went through things and she, sacrificed for us. Those characteristics we want to embrace. And so, yeah, it's a wonderful thing. I think women have a bright future. And again, we want men. We're not trying to take over the world, although we did bring them in the world.
Yes. Okay.
Just saying,
Okay. I can't even argue with that one. So, Celeste, thank you so much. I'm getting ready to come back to you at the very end to ask you for our last challenge to the group. Okay. I want everybody to know that this will be here on Facebook, and I'm going to post it also on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, the Cheney Coaching Group YouTube channel. And as I said before, if you're watching on YouTube, just click above on the subscribe so that you'll know each time we go live. If you're on Facebook, click on notifications. We'll let you know every time we go live. I'm excited about what's getting ready to happen with the Cheney Coaching Group, some of the things that are coming forth. Tomorrow, we're going to be on the Incredible Tribe with parents. I don't know the topic yet, but we're going to go live tomorrow, and we're going to have some advice and news for parents. Today was really for everybody, but specifically for women. I'm looking forward to everything that's about to happen. Once again, this is Celeste Johnson, as she's about to give us our charge before we end for today.
Well, I think that the first thing is to decide to make yourself a priority. Decide to really get to know yourself. We have a lot of time still at home where we didn't ask for it necessarily, but to turn the frustration that may be coming from not being able to go to your favorite restaurant or to hang out with your friends as much as you may have done before, use that time now, because we will get past this and we'll be back engaged. But to take that time and really hone in on yourself. Write it down. What do you believe? What have you always wanted to do? What do you believe your assignment is if you had to come up with it? Taking the time to work on that. And when you come out of that, I think you're going to be in such a more powerful position when you go back, whatever it might be. And maybe you won't go back because we don't know. We may go forward in a different way. But my charge is to take the time. And I would like to, if it's okay, to invite them. If you want to work on the Operation Clean Slate, go to my website, www.celestejohnson.com. And that's CelesteJonson.com. And on there, you can get a free download of Operation Clean Slate. It's an ebook. Download it and work through that. That would be so wonderful for you. And it would be wonderful to hear from you as well.
Once again, Celeste, thank you. Once again, everybody, this is William Cheney, where at the Cheney Coaching Group, we want you to discover your talents, engage your strengths, and focus on getting results. I want you to live your best life, and don't ever forget that you have greatness in you. Yes. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye-bye.